All right, back again. We got a good one today. Excited for today. Try to set this one up for a while. Reached out a few times back and forth. Finally got a date set in. So super excited to be here. Bob's supposed to be here, nowhere to be found. It's typical Menery. So we got we're actually in John's apartment. John's
you're stuck.
A condo?
You're
Condo?
stuck with me. It's my condo. I'm letting Bob stay here, and I don't usually wear sunglasses when I'm doing shit like this, but I got pink eye, and I'm pretty sure it's from fucking Bob. Just
yeah. So co-hosting with us right now, we have John, and on the show today we got Matt Barnes, NBA legend, championship. What do you have? You won a championship with the Warriors, right?
Well, Golden State.
Golden State. Yeah. Appreciate your time, man. Appreciate you coming out.
Thank you guys for having me. This is a nice little setup you guys got going on here.
Yeah. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, so you stay out in the LA area, right?
Yeah. I'm out in the Valley. When I retired, LA was home. You know, my kids were out here, so it made it easy. But I've been out in LA since 98 when I first came from NorCal to go to UCLA. So I've been in LA for like half my life.
Oh, dang. Northern Cal, like Oakland area?
From San Jose to Sacramento.
San Jose, Sacramento.
Bounced around those areas when I was younger. Yeah.
Dang, that's cool, man. So then playing for Golden State, was Golden State your favorite team?
My favorite team growing up was the Lakers. I was a huge Showtime Magic Johnson fan, but Golden State, there were so many great memories as a player there. I had great memories with the Lakers too, but Golden State was different. So I ran there 2 different times under 2 different kind of regimes, and the second one was able to get a championship. The first one was fun as well, though.
First one, that was like, was Steph barely getting into the league with the first time?
I don't think Steph was even. It was the
yet?
We Believe run. So that was like the 2006-07 season. Where we knocked off Dallas.
That was with Baron Davis, right?
Yeah,
that's right. That was an epic run.
Yeah, that was the first time around, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a good team, right? That was an exciting team. You guys were like running and gunning out there.
We were on and off the court. We went hard on that team.
So how was the vibe different from like when you were at Golden State to when you joined the Lakers?
Well, that first Golden State team was just young, and all of us were kind of misfits from different teams. We had some talent, but we hadn't really put anything together for our NBA careers. And, it all kind of happened crazily where, I ended up getting on the team through a former teammate of mine, and then we ended up trading for some guys mid-season. And when I say like we kicked, I think our bond off the court helped us become good on the court really fast because, again, like from the jump, we were smoking and drinking with the guys that were traded here. Steven Jackson, my co-host for my podcast. That's when he and I really first met. And it was just an instant vibe, and that team was fun. But unfortunately, it was under some different ownership, and they were known for breaking up good shit. So, they just broke that team up way too fast, and we didn't really get a chance to see the potential we would have.
Yeah. So, hey, do you think that's a good mixture, like off the court, like a relationship as far as
I think it's important. Sometimes you hear that, guys don't get along. You hear the legends between Shaq and Kobe not necessarily getting along, but they made it work on the court. But I just feel like it's so much easier. Like if we're on the team and we all fuck with each other on and off the court, know our likes, our dislikes as players and as men, you know what I mean? It's just like you have a closer bond, and, I'll run through a wall for you. You know what I mean? I'll fight for you. That's where all my trouble was. It was never people fucking with me. I was taking up for my teammates. You know what I mean? So I definitely think being on the same page and really fucking with your teammates is important.
I remember, I'm going to throw a curveball at you here. I remember seeing you in the football recruiting magazines in high school. I played tight end at Notre Dame. You're a couple years younger than me.
Yeah.
And, obviously you made the right choice. You had a great NBA career by choosing basketball over football. But if you watch you kind of brought that football mentality to your play on the court.
Yeah, that was definitely, I always called myself a football player playing basketball. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Football is my first love. I was, All-American in football and the top receiver in the country, led the nation in touchdowns my senior year. Was recruited for football as well, but fell in love with, can we hear with this? Okay. Yeah. Fell in love with UCLA when I came here.
It's a new podcast. It's not
okay. No, I'm just saying, can they hear with the vacuum I'm saying? So went to UCLA for a visit and kind of fell in love with the campus.
All right. Yeah.
And, always wanted to go there. So when it came down to decide what I want to do I want to play both? I just chose basketball for longevity because there wasn't really too many 6'8" guys
Want to just pause
in
it
the
real
NFL
quick?
at that time. And, I was able to play 15 years in the NBA, so made the right decision, I think.
Then you gotta are you one of the guys that you have that kind of crazy thug mentality? Do you take that as a compliment?
I mean, it's just me, what
Yeah.
I mean? But it's me as a competitor and as an athlete, it's in me as a man. But, when I'm off and I think that's post-career, I've been able to kind of show people who I am off. Like I was telling you the story before why I didn't get face tats. Like everyone thought that I was just this dude, gangbanger, crazy, this, and that. I was just like, competitor, and I grew up fighting. But, off the camera, I'm cool. We smoke, vibe, good time, laugh, and joke. But, they didn't know about me when I was in the league because this is pre-social media. My last 4 years, maybe social media hit. So what the media wrote about you or what you saw on a quick TMZ edit or in the paper was who people thought you were. So I was able to kind of show who I was post-career, and then who I am and my personality and what I'm about, what I'm stand for. And I think that's definitely opened a lot of doors post-career as far as really being able to, blessed enough to do whatever I want in this media space.
Did you feel like you had to swim upstream a little harder to get those jobs after
no,
post-career?
No, but I think what happened was people were just initially hesitant. So I wouldn't say that I had to really go extra hard. I was just, I think people were kind of pleasantly surprised when they got a chance to meet me, the person, instead of me, the athlete. They probably thought I was a dumb athlete. I'm like, no, I went to school and I know how to do. I can speak. What I mean? So I just think that the misconception of the guy that was always ready to do whatever for his teammates got misconstrued with who I am as a person. So I think once I was able to start talking and kind of people seeing my personality, like, oh no, he's not him. He's him.
Yeah.
Hey, you think you had some deals walk away, Matt, when you were actually playing?
Probably
because of that. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no question. It was just I didn't play for that reason. Obviously that's a big deal now, but I was just me. I played hard. I was a football player, and I was someone who, when I was younger, I would get my ass whipped if I didn't stick up for my brother and sister when they would fight. No matter if they won or not, I better get in there and handle business. So I just always looked at my teammates as like family. You know what I mean? So I was always the one that was going to protect my guys no matter what, right or wrong. We'll figure that shit out after. But if some shit's going to go down, I got your back. You know what I mean? So I definitely think that with the technical fouls and me cussing out refs probably turned some people off.
Do you kind of instill that in your boys now?
To an extent. You know what I mean? It's just different because, I grew up food stamps, drugs, violence, family living with you. And my kids live behind gates and go to private school. I worked my ass off for that, but I think there's still that balance and instilling, toughness in them. And I let them whip each other's ass if that's anything to talk, because they don't think, we grew up, we fought in our neighborhood. We go to other neighborhoods and fight, and that's how we kind of learn how to take our licks and fight, but this day and age, kids don't even play outside no more. Like, you got to tell, motherfucker, take your ass outside, get off the video games, electronics. So I think there's a thin line between instilling toughness in them, because they're naturally tough, but instilling kind of just the right mentality. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't grow up like me, so you don't have to act like me, but I still want you to have kind of the mentality of just, no bullshit is allowed here.
Have that edge.
Yeah, you have to.
And speaking of screwing up sponsorship deals, Bob Menery has entered the room right now. So I'll let you have your seat, buddy.
I pay rent.
Pleasure to meet you, bro.
I love it. Yeah, this is sick. Matt, good to see you, brother.
Bob, what's happening?
It's been a while. I don't even know where we. How do we get to
I
get
think
to know
I
each other?
saw your shit.
What do you mean my shit?
Your golf edits, and I just thought you were funny as fuck. So I DM'd you one time and just kind of told you I was a fan, and we kind of started going, and that was crazy because it was right when I retired, or what was it, maybe 18 or 19?
Yeah.
I think I hit you up, and it was just like we've kind of just been back and forth, ever since. And
Well, you're killing the fucking. I look at you as like the Godfather of podcasts,
Oh yeah, killing it right now.
right?
no, I'm not killing it right now. Just killing it because how long you been in the podcast game?
We're going on our 4th year now, so
So yeah, I mean, when did podcasts really? Because it's always such an oversaturated market now. All this shit.
yeah, they've been going for a while, but I think more just kind of athletes, and we weren't the first, but I think we were fortunate enough to kind of really make headway with just the way we move, the guests we have.
Lil Wayne.
Yeah, we just dropped Lil Wayne. Go check that out.
Lil Wayne's fucking one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's my guy.
Did you smoke with him?
Yeah, we smoked the whole interview.
Well, I just smoked the outside. I'm so high right now that I can't.
Hey, what about the strands, the different strands? Like you smoking with Lil Wayne, can you handle like?
No, I smoke. I'm bougie. I smoke my own shit. I'm a part small owner of a company called Seven Leaves from my hometown of Sacramento.
Oh, okay.
So I just normally smoke my own shit. So I mean, I'll try other people's shit, and there's other good shit out there. But if I have it and it's good, like why I'd smoke other people's shit?
Have you ever get the panic attacks?
Nah, man, I've been smoking since I was 14. So
Really?
yeah,
That young?
It's just a lifestyle for me.
Were you ever into other stuff?
No, I never went. My dad dabbled in the streets. So my dad sold drugs and did other shit. So I saw everything wide open. I grew up in the 80s, so all parents were on drugs, doing drugs, selling drugs, all that kind of shit. So I would see shit, crank, all these people, like big parties were always at our house. So I'd see all this shit in front of me. It was just like, But then I know my dad also smoked cigarettes. I used to hate the smell of cigarettes, but every once in a while he would smoke weed. And I was just, man, I love that smell. And it was just always, that shit resonated. When I tell you, like 5 years old, it just resonated with me. And at 14, I stole some weed from him for the first time and tried it. Got a badass headache, but
Bang, it was over.
Not a quitter.
Yeah.
Got back on the horse a couple of days later, and I've been riding smoothly ever since.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So all through high school, all through UCLA, all through my pro career, and kind of was an advocate for it when I retired in 17. Now it's obviously legal in the NBA, which is a beautiful thing, but a lot of people got a lot of fines and suspensions and shit.
Wait, you can smoke weed before games?
I used to, but yeah, now you can legally do it. I was.
Oh, you used to get high before games? Really? Wow. So what was like the highest you ever been for a game?
I mean, I don't overdo it. I still respect my craft and know I got a job to do. But I would, it was just a routine. I mean, I would, we'd have a shoot around like 11 or 12. After practice, I would go home and smoke a joint, take a nap, get up and go. So it wasn't like I was smoking on the way to the game, but I smoked within like a 3-hour window of the game.
Were the coaches ever kind of aware of it maybe?
No, I mean, I was a professional about it. I never smelled like it. You might catch me with my eyes a little red every once in a while, but outside of that, it's just like I still came and did my job.
Did you have a process? Did you like spray cologne on you, and did you do?
I mean, like I said, after I smoke, I would take a nap, and then to wake up from my nap, I would take a shower. So it wouldn't even be on me by the time I'm at the game. But like every night, I was the one guarding the best player, so I couldn't be out there bullshitting.
You were guarding the best player every game?
Every single game. Kobe, Carmelo, T-Mac,
Really?
Wade, LeBron.
Hey, what about like
KD.
recovery? Does it help? Do you feel like it helps you?
Well, it's crazy because we didn't really know the medical research behind it.
Yeah,
But I always knew how it made me feel. Yeah. Like it made me focus. It helped me sleep. It helped me recover. I'm someone who, when you play in professional sports, they're giving you all kinds of opioids to get you back on the field, court, whatever. And that shit, like a single Vicodin gives me a stomach ache. So I was just someone who just used to tough it out, And I always found that outside of really not taking too much medication, I found that the smoking it didn't take all the pain away, but it made it manageable. You know what I mean? So I was able to get back out there and do my thing. So, like I said, I love the fact now that mostly across the board, professional sports, cannabis is not looked at as a drug. It's looked at as medication now, because I definitely think it's a lot healthier than the problem we have with opioids these days.
What's the worst thing you've ever said to a referee?
Oh man, I just said some shit. I don't know.
What do you mean? Like, so you say you disagree with a call.
I've said fuck you. I've called them bitches. I've done in the heat of the moment. I don't even say this like I'm bragging or wanting to be disrespectful, because I don't really like to disrespect people like that. But some of them refs were some hoes. So
right, like if you made a really bad call, how hard are you going at them?
It just depends on the moment and how many fouls I have, and
like you're thrown out of the game, like you just got thrown out, like if you didn't even commit the foul. Yeah. What are you saying to them?
Man, fuck you, suck my. You can imagine. I'm saying
wow.
whatever comes to mind.
And that results in a technical foul?
Most of the time, this is after I'm already thrown out. So
okay.
I used to always get the additional fine. They said I wouldn't leave the court in a timely manner, because I always had to make sure I got what I was going to say to the ref out, and then they'd fine me for another 10,000 or 5,000.
I always wonder what happens too. So they throw you out. What do you go watch TV and play video games?
It depends. Go watch the game. Sometimes take a shower. Sometimes leave. It just kind of depends on the moment, the vibe. Some locker rooms had some beer in there. Sometimes you just grab a beer and watch the rest of the game. So it kind of just depends.
So those fines, when you get fined for something like that, whatever it is. So what was the fine hypothetically for not leaving the court in the proper manner?
It was probably it would have been like a $25,000 fine, but turned into like a $35,000 fine.
And what is there, a guy waiting there fucking in the locker room for you to collect?
No, it's just the league office. There was at the time a former Bruin who I thought would show some fucking leniency. Kiki Vandeweghe was the one that kind of was the governor of the fine.
Fuck Kiki Vandeweghe, whatever his name is. I was just sticking up for you. My bad.
I appreciate that. I was always thinking that there's got to be some UCLA love. This motherfucker used to never take a fine, because sometimes fines can get taken away or T's can be rescinded.
He's gonna appeal him.
Yeah, you can, but yeah, that shit didn't work too often. I lost over probably definitely because someone I lost over $500,000 in fines.
What's in the appeal? The appeal process comes from your agents and your.
My agents, the team,
Yeah.
me, like, you know what I mean? Like they were so accustomed to me that I had direct lines. I'm like, yo, what's up, man? This is what happened. I got in my whole career, maybe like 2 or 3 technical fouls rescinded. But outside of that, like, and I guess it was just because, my reputation, you know, I feel like reputations are earned whether good or bad. And, you know, I had to scratch and claw to be in this league. So I was ready to do whatever, you know what I mean?
Is it because you think you're like, don't take this the wrong way, you think you're like an angry person inside? Is that what it is?
No,
Or is
it was
like,
just, I wasn't, like I said, football was my best sport, you know, so I wasn't maybe I had to just keep working on my basketball game, you know what I mean? And then I just found that, like, where I found my lane at in basketball was, you know, a defensive guy, and rebounding and being tough and all that shit was natural. So I just kind of found my lane, and I think that's why, you know, I was able to play as long as I wanted, because there was never any confliction in my mind. Like, yeah, I used to hang out with the best players, and but I was a role player, and I was there every single season to play my role, and I knew what my role was, and I played it to a T, you know what I mean? So that's why I feel like I probably lasted as long as I did, is just because there was no confusion on who I thought I was or what I could be. Like, motherfucker, go do your job. All right, I'm going to do it.
fuck yeah.
Hey, are those fines like tax write-offs or anything like that?
Hell no.
No, really? Oh,
No.
shit.
And I used to say, like, we should be able to, like, because they claim they donated, they probably just put that shit in their pocket. But I used to say, like, we should be able to that fine should be able to go to a charity of our choice.
Yeah, something like that.
You know what I mean? But nah,
Sometimes you gotta learn. I mean, you know, eventually you'll learn from mistakes. Like Ja Morant, right? The guy.
Oof.
Ja Morant, the gun guy.
Yeah, the gun guy.
The gun guy.
The gun guy.
What happened with him? He had the.
This new generation is just, I feel like they're so addicted to showing the world everything.
Yeah.
You know, not just job, but you see rappers and people telling on themselves all day.
Yeah.
They know the feds are watching social media 24/7, 365, and motherfuckers just want to brag so much that they're just constantly telling on themselves. So in Ja's case, it wasn't like someone caught Ja slipping. Ja showed the world what he was doing. So he, you know, did a live video and flashed a gun in a strip club, and then they're rapping in a car, and his homeboy throws up a live, and he gets caught again. So it's just like, to me, that's bad self-awareness. That's immaturity. That's maybe thinking you might be untouchable. I mean, this kid is 22, 23 years old with $200 million. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, it's hard to kind of stay level-headed when the money is that good, and he's such a great player too. So, his suspension is going to be announced as soon as the finals are over, and I think it's going to be heavy. Unfortunate, because I don't like to see, you know, no young guys be in trouble, but I think they have to teach him a lesson, because Ja has to realize that he is the future of the league.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you think about it right now, European and international players are running the NBA. You look at the last 4 or 5 MVPs are all international players, you know, so like when KD and LeBron and Steph and these guys step away from the game, Ja's going to be one of those young guys along with Jason Tatum and Devin Booker and these guys that are going to carry the torch. So he has to understand, like, yo, like, a lot of responsibility comes with, you know, what you're about to be given. And I think even though he's fucked up, he's still going to be fine. I just hope that he learns from it, because he is so good that all this shit is going to come back around, and the money and the endorsements and everything, and he's going to be great and have a great career. But I just think this is an early lesson that he has to learn, because he has so many blessings ahead of him.
Hey, Matt, was there ever a time like you were, because I think a big piece of it is also the people around you, right? Was there a point in time where you just had to start cutting people off?
I was never an entourage type dude, you know, to be honest with you. Like, I kept it simple. Like, I hung out with my little homeboys in high school. I had a group of 5 or 6 that I was close with when I first got money. I bought a house, and everyone lived there, and we kicked it and smoked weed and fucked with bitches and did all the stuff you're supposed to do when you're younger. And then I had a handful of, like, NBA guys that I would hang out with. So I was never really too much of, like, an entourage. I'm coming in with 20 guys and all jewelry, and that was never really my vibe. You know, I hung out with dudes that were like that and hung out with their crews, but I was never really someone who was with that. But with that said, I've hung out with some people that I knew probably weren't the best people to hang out with, or, you know, people that have been in the streets and did this and did that. But I always knew myself, you know what I mean? Like, no one's going to talk me into doing something I don't want to do. You know, I don't give a fuck if I'm not the biggest, baddest, or the richest motherfucker, but, like, no one is going to make me do something I don't want to do. You know what I mean? So obviously with age comes maturity, and I was, you know, I still had my fair share of trouble, but it was never like no real shit that could put me in prison type shit. You know what I mean? So, you know, I was always just a free thinker, and I'm okay with marching, you know, to my own beat all by myself, or I can fuck with you guys too. So it's just, I was never really someone who had the entourage, but I've seen guys with entourage, and those do nothing but make you go broke, make you look
too many
dumb
people around. Smaller crews better.
Make you look dumb at times because you're responsible. You got to think if everyone in this
Yeah,
studio,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
all going out. One you fucks up, it's not you, it's my name.
Right,
Matt
exactly.
Barnes' crew is doing this or doing that, so it's just like it's a lot to worry about. So to me, it's definitely not worth it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. You know, with the John Morant thing, if he does it a third time, right? If he was caught
Can't
again,
be. There can't be a third
Yeah.
time.
if it was a
No
third
way,
time,
no.
it's just done, right?
I think it would be like a multi-year suspension.
Right.
I'm hoping this is not a full season. I think this will probably be a 40 or 50 game. This one's going to hurt a little bit.
And he loses a lot of money.
A ton of money. I mean, he's already missed out on $40 million because he didn't make All NBA this year, and it wasn't because of his talent. It was because these judges these people who vote have memories and hold biases and feel like, hey, like, you know, you don't deserve to be a first. Although his talent deserves to be there, your actions don't deserve, and that cost him $40 million already. You know what I mean? So this next suspension is it's definitely gonna hurt his pockets. But I think again, he's gonna make all that back. I'm not worried about that. I just hope he learns because there can't be a third.
There can't be another mistake. That's the problem. Anybody's going to jump on it for anything.
Yeah, but I mean, just the guns there's just no
room for anything, right? No room for error now,
Nothing,
right?
period.
Yeah.
And some shit is gonna happen. You know, that's just life. But there can't be no more gun shit with him.
Yeah.
Do you want to? You said I read something. You want to run for office or no?
Yeah, I mean, I think at some point, in my early 30s, I was just like, I was seeing the former mayor of Sacramento, Kevin Johnson, who was an NBA player and out from my way. And to me, when I first, said it, it wasn't necessarily about the political side. It was more about the way I saw him clean up his hometown, at Oak Park. I mean, the way that was, my aunt was throat/killed, left in the gutter in that city. So that city is grimy. And I see the way he brought jobs and houses and opportunity in those communities. And to me, that's what inspired me. I'm like, damn, I want to do that too. And, never really knowing if it was going to happen or if I wanted to take it serious. But then, once that attracted me, I kind of started learning more and more about policy and, obviously with the police brutality and all that kind of shit. So, I got to know some people up at the state capitol in Sacramento and helped push a lot of bills and walked and met, the congressmen and women inside the Capitol. And it just interests me. So, I told myself in my early 30s at 50, I would want to run for some sort of office.
What level? What level? Where are you thinking? Mayor,
possibly.
All right.
If I get into mayor, then shit, I'm probably not gonna want to quit. I'll probably maybe push for governor.
Hey, you would run out here, Matt, for LA?
No, I would probably go back to my hometown.
Oh,
to be
okay.
honest with you, like I said, I want to really affect the place that helped raise me. You know what I mean? So I think, obviously LA has been home for more than half my life. But, my heart is always going to be in Northern California. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's where if it does happen, that's where it would take place at.
Are you afraid of the earthquake though? It might come.
When you're from somewhere, you're not really worried about like the natural disaster. Like you hear tornado or this and that, and if you live there, like it is what it is. Like I grew up in earthquakes. I was here for was it the '89 earthquake or the '87 earthquake? I was a little kid, but the one that
up north,
broke the bridge, in the Bay Area and all that kind of shit. So it just kind of it's something. To me, you're not going to die from an earthquake. You're going to die from getting shot before that.
Yeah.
So I don't really think about natural disasters like that.
What's your biggest pet peeve because you get interviewed a lot? What's your biggest pet peeve? What's the question you hate being asked the most?
I mean, I really have one, to be honest with you. Like, if I like the question, I'm going to answer it. If I don't, I'm not going to answer it. So I don't really have, like, issues. I'm an open book. I did reality TV way back in the day and realized after that it was never going to be the same. So, there's no skeletons in my closet. I mean, that's a good thing when it comes to, if I ever do run, like, all my shit is the world knows about, so I'm not hiding nothing. Nothing's going to come jumping out the closet at some point. Like, my skeletons, unfortunately, which I've learned from, are all public record. And
you got to release them early.
And been on TMZ and been on all this shit. So, me is, I'm an open book. I'm honest. I'm real. And, that to me, that's all you could be.
You got a sex tape out there or no?
No, I don't have no sex tapes,
no.
To be honest with you. I don't trust people.
Yeah.
You mean, to be honest with you, like the first time I've started kind of filming stuff is with my fiance now.
It's kind of fun, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's
you film it, you fuck her, and then you watch it after, and then...
Yeah, I'm on the road, because I'm on the road a lot, so I'll just, like, baby, I just, I pleasured myself to you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Type thought.
Hey, just film and delete, and delete.
And then I'll send it, because they're on my phone all the time, so then I'll send it like, yeah, this is, So it's, but outside of that, like it's hard to trust people.
Yeah. Oh my God,
and you know, obviously I feel like I have a great woman right now that I could really trust, but at the same time, like it's on my phone. So it's just like, you know, if
So do I.
you crack my phone and see it, it is what it is.
What do you think about the sharing locations? I always ask that question.
I don't really know about it. I've never really been into it. You know, I don't, to each his own. If you and your partner want to share locations, that's on you. It's just never really been something that I've done.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the FaceTime calling? Like that's what really killed everything, right? Is the FaceTime calling, right?
For the players out there, FaceTime changed the game.
What do you mean? I'm missing something. What do you mean FaceTime?
FaceTime, like if you're saying like,
You're like, hey, I'm at home, and then they FaceTime you and you're not at home.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm sure at some point my girl's gonna FaceTime me during this interview. Like FaceTime, that's how she calls me. Every time it's a FaceTime. Like, damn, baby, you don't want to just regular call me sometimes? Like everything, but like to me, it is what it is. You know, and as the older I get, because I've been a professional athlete. I've never really struggled in the women department, and you know, as you get older and older, you just have to realize there's some shit you have to stop doing. But I'm just sure it's tough being someone, you know, whether you're dating an athlete or someone in the entertainment space. It's tough dating people who aren't famous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because everyone is kind of doing their thing.
No relationships.
Huh?
No relationships.
You're not into relationships?
I'm out.
I heard you just got out of a bad one. Is that why?
I got out of a very bad one, Matt.
Sorry to hear that.
No, we're good. I went on it. Yeah. I can't talk about it.
It's life.
And
you
I
know what I mean? To me, it's going to hurt for a little bit. It's going to sting, but time heals everything. You know, I got a divorce, a very public divorce, and a lot of shit went on with that. And sometimes it's embarrassing. Sometimes it hurts, but, you know, time heals it all. So you're going to be all right.
You want to smoke weed?
We can.
Yeah. You want to open up you want to smoke? Do you have weed?
I do.
Yeah, let's smoke weed. We're good.
Well, it's shit.
Yeah. Let's do a little weed. It makes it better in here.
You're
You
gonna open it up?
pop that door open if you don't mind.
I don't.
And when you bring up my relationship, I gotta get my fucking head. Well, we can smoke right here. No. John. Yeah, when John leaves, I just light this place up. I don't give two fucks. My goal is to have the fire alarms go off during this podcast here.
No, I can't pass. I heard that pink eye's going around, so you're gonna have to. I'm just gonna blow some weed your way, and you're gonna have to. Actually, I brought you guys some weed if you want.
Did you really?
Yeah, I brought some weed for you guys.
Well, you're not gonna share your weed. You're like Rick Ross. He didn't give me his.
I can't. I heard pink eyes going around. I got 6 kids.
I don't have fucking pink. John had a girl over at 3 a.m. yesterday and ate some bad
And I'm
pussy.
not judging nobody.
All right, so what?
I'm just saying.
All right, so here's I don't have fucking.
so
my eyes
John-
are a little bit red because I was up late last
Hey,
night.
so John definitely eats ass, right?
I don't know. I don't want to.
Pink guy, right?
I don't know.
That was fart dust in his eye.
He actually, it was funny because he was perfectly normal when he came in, and then he went in with that girl, and when he came out, literally 6 hours later, he had a fucked up eye.
Don't see it.
It's a cold game out here, man. This is LA. It's a little different. You gotta watch yourself. Be
That's when you know, like, because there was Rick Ross didn't share weed either.
Yeah.
Hey, what about eating ass, Bob? You're into that?
No, I'm not talking about this shit. No,
Why not?
No,
Hey, nothing's off the table, brother.
Everything's off the
And
table.
I think too, you know, I mean, I've been smoking so long. The thing back in the day was us to all share multiple blunts at the same time.
yeah.
To me,
Rotation
that was
going.
the best part of smoking. But I think since COVID and everything else, like that shit has kind of stopped. Like it used to be nothing like sitting down and smoking a blunt with the homies. You know what I mean? Or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like there was never nothing like just doing that. But these days, it's all individuals these days.
Hey, it's crazy how the weed
Wait,
has
did you believe it?
changed,
Did
too,
you
huh?
believe in? Did you believe in COVID?
I did. I got COVID.
Really?
I did.
There's a lot of people. Yeah, no. Did you believe? Because a lot of people that doubted it. They said it wasn't real. It was a made up thing. But a lot of people died too. So
You know,
right?
the fucked
Yeah, I
up
don't-
part was, you know,
I don't know if
I
it's-
had to get vaccinated, and I was on the fence, and I don't judge, you know, whether you do, whether you don't. That again, I'm pro you, make your choice. But because of the companies I work for, I had to get vaccinated. And when I tell you, man, my left arm ever since then, randomly, all the time, aches.
Yeah.
Like where I got my shot at, I'm just like, I think like something obviously hits us, whether you think it's planned or whatever the fuck it is, and somehow you come up with something that's supposed to kill it that fast. Like there has to be shit in there that's not healthy for us.
Yeah.
Has to be.
You know, it was kind of flipped around pretty quick.
Yeah,
You know,
and
it
that's
wasn't
why I
like.
wanted, like, to each his own. If you didn't get it, I respect it. You know, if you got it, I respect it. But I like no bullshit. My left arm always hurts now.
Really?
That's crazy.
I just don't like, me personally, like I said, you like the same thing. You could do whatever you want, but I just felt like it was kind of rushed, man. Like they were trying to.
How fast can you come up with
yeah.
something that's supposed to, you know, potentially save lives?
And they
you
gave
know,
it everybody.
And they forced it on you. That's
and
what I
that's
didn't
what I'm
like.
saying. Like
I
you
didn't
had
like
to,
how they
like the
forced it
company,
on you.
the companies I work for. Like if you don't get a shot, you can't work.
Yeah.
Like really, that's some bullshit.
You remember the interview with who was it, DeMar Hamlin, when they asked him kind of, you know, what the doctors explained, kind of what happened to him, and he wouldn't answer it.
Yeah.
They thought that might have had something to do with the vaccine.
Oh, okay.
That's what they said.
That's what they said? That's what they tied it back to?
That was my point in the podcast. Yeah, I don't know. It's a great point. Been doing this for a while, you know.
That's a great point.
That's a good point, Bob.
No, but I had a question for you as far as, because I've sat down with some very cool people, and so have you. So who is your favorite interview that you've ever done, and who's your least favorite interview you've ever done? Since you don't fucking hide shit, and you can't say me.
To be honest with you, I don't have a least, because every time I sit down with someone, I get to learn more about them. So whether there's a camera on it or not, like, I think it's dope learning about people, you know, because I've always been someone who's been judged for what you think what you see about a book by its cover, you know. So I love to be able to sit down with people and get to know them. So I don't have a least favorite interview. Favorite interview is hard, man. We've sat down, like, we just dropped Lil Wayne. Like, I named my son Carter after the Carter 3.
That's so crazy.
What I mean? So Kobe did. That's my my dog. We did his last interview. Will Smith.
Oh, that's a good one.
He goes through all the shit. We sit down with Will Smith. Jamie Foxx. Prayer out to my dog Jamie Foxx. We sat down with Jamie Foxx. Steph, KD. Like, I don't. Obviously, I respect everybody in the lane, the podcast lane, and want to continue to learn and build. But I put our guest list up against anybody's. Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, Charles Barkley. Like, I put
you guys have a great
anybody's. You know what I mean? And that's why I love the show so much. Obviously it pays well and it's cool. It's something to do. But like I said, to get down and I'm talking to Magic Johnson, like, you're my favorite player growing up, and I'm talking to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? My former teammate Steph, Kobe's last interview. All these people, you just get to sit down and learn more. And what I like to humanize our guests, because most of the time I know about these people, so I want to be able to peel back the curtain and show the fans how Kobe is when we're just kicking it.
Right.
You know, so it's just like I take pride in really creating an environment where people feel comfortable enough to just sit down and chop it up with you and talk real shit.
Yeah.
You know, tell you, like, my favorite part of the podcast is when people are like, man, I haven't told anybody this. I'm like, oh yeah.
That's what you want.
Like, he feels comfortable enough to share that with us. So I really take pride in creating that kind of environment.
Yeah.
Hey, was that your idea to start the podcast, or did you get approached?
When I retired in 2017, I didn't know what was next. I was a cannabis advocate. I smoked a lot of weed. I had just invested in a company, so I wanted to, push the cannabis stuff hard, and that soon got watered down heavily.
Yeah.
And I remember one of my homegirls used to tell me, like, yo, you were always so well spoken in your interviews. You should try media. And I'm just like, because I didn't really fuck with the media when I was in the NBA. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, it was always their word and that was it. Because there was no real social media until the end. So it's like, I'm cool. They're like, no, change. Help be a part of the change. And then so I just, I started doing some ESPN and Fox, and it was fun, and I liked it, and I gave a different perspective. And so Steven Jackson started doing the same thing. And again, that's my dog. And I was just like, let's do something. We're at my house in the Bay one time just smoking. I was like, let's do a podcast. He's like, what's a podcast? I was like, I don't know, but we could smoke and drink and, like, talk our shit. You know what I mean? Because, like, with ESPN, that's Disney.
There's no restrictions.
Disney, you have to walk a fine line, and I respect that line, and I try to walk it as much, but I'm a habitual I step off the line a lot of my life. You know what I mean? And so sometimes, but I just know with a podcast, you can do this, you can do this.
No, you can't do this because it's not over here.
Yeah, I could blow something your way if you want, but that's about it. Like I said, I got a big old bag of weed that
You did bring some weed for us. Yeah. I appreciate. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus. I think we might as well shut that door too. Right? It's loud. Shut it. Yeah, shut it. It's too loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all good. I got the weed gummies coming out in the 26th.
Oh, you do edibles?
Yeah, we do the edibles.
I was always just like a smoker, bro. So I never really fucked with the edibles too heavy.
Oh, nice. It looks like a felony to me, but yeah, looks pretty good. That is a lot of weed. Appreciate the gesture here for that huge bag of weed for us.
I got you guys taken care of, man.
Wow.
I even got baggies for you, bro. Quit playing. I can't prepare.
What do I owe you? 40 for Nath?
No, you don't owe me shit, bro.
All right.
This is on the house. This is on all the smoke.
Oh, beautiful.
Hey, you still roll your own stuff, Matt?
Yeah. I smoke joint. Here, I smoke joint. So, y'all, I just, roll all my shit up.
You roll joints fast?
I use cones. It's simple. Shout out Raw. They're one of my sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
They have cones, man. You just chop the weed up in the grinder, and you're on your way.
Hey, did you see that? What was the name? Snoop Dogg paid his roller like an insane amount of money.
Yeah.
Super. Oh, you're the man,
Nah,
bro.
I'm good.
Dude, this is great. Thank you so much. What a gift.
Problem, man.
I look forward to calling 911 20 times this month.
You can't even smoke it, dude.
Thank you.
Huh? You gonna smoke it?
I'm gonna smoke this whole bag tonight.
No, I wouldn't recommend that.
No. This is good shit.
Hey Matt, like a baggie like that, how long would that last you right there?
I don't smoke as much as I used to. Like, to be honest with you, I used to smoke when I played, and I kid you not, it would be me and 2 or 3 of my homeboys. We could smoke 20, 30 blunts a day. Dang. Like,
wow.
Heavy in rotation, and we get too high, we just jump in the pool and kind of wake us up and keep the party going. Like, I'm a functional smoker. I've been smoking for so long, but now that I'm getting older and I have 6 kids. I have 3 biological and then 3 kids from my fiance from her previous marriage. So I'm just constant dad mode and business mode, So I'll smoke in the morning, I'll smoke after I work out, and I'll smoke when I go to sleep. But maybe 1 or 2 a day, if that.
What are the age ranges of the kids?
4. There's a 4-year-old, which I have with my fiance, and then we have a 9-year-old son, 10-year-old son, 11-year-old daughter. That's from her previous marriage, and then I have my twins that are 14 from my previous marriage.
When's the age where they can come home baked and not get in trouble?
I know. I feel like my twins are 14, so I know all their friends, and it's just a different world. They know I smoke. I try not to smoke in front of them all the time, but I have smoked in front of them. They're 14. They're grown. They're not grown, but they're old enough to understand. We've had these conversations with them since I was. So, that's a funny story. So the first time the twins caught me smoking was in 2017 because I used to hide it from them, and I think they were 7 or 8. It was the summer I retired, and I rented a big ass house on Doheny, like a couple $100,000 every month, and we just went hard as a motherfucker. But when the twins were there. It was chill, but one night I put them to sleep and I went down by the pool and I started smoking, and I guess they looked through their window and they came down and they said the next morning, like, Daddy, what, I guess they had just learned it in class about smoking cigarettes. They're like, Daddy, we just learned if you smoke cigarettes, your lungs are going to be all tarred and black. And I'm like, damn, this is the moment of truth. Do I tell them I was smoking a cigarette, or I tell them I was smoking a joint? Because they're 7 or 8 at this time. And I'm like, no, Daddy wasn't smoking a cigarette. Like, well, what are you smoking? I was like, Daddy was smoking a joint. They're like, well, what's that? And I'm just like, but then I flipped it on. I'm just like, how Daddy plays basketball? My body's always hurt and I'm tired. No. When I smoke one of these, it helps me feel better. It helps me sleep and I can relax. And like, oh, okay. Because, Daddy I don't really drink. And I obviously don't pop pills, or just like, Daddy doesn't like to take medicine and I don't really drink. So this helps take the pain away from my ankle and my knee. And they're like, okay. But then one of the twins, Carter, the one I named after Lil Wayne, which makes sense. He's like, well, Daddy, I sprained my ankle. When can I smoke? Shit. He's like 7 or 8. Yeah. And I was like, nah, you gotta be old. You gotta be old to smoke, bro. And he's like, okay, but that was kind of the moment of truth, 8 years old. And I've always been a dad because I was a single dad for a long time. I was real. I'd rather my kids hear from me than somewhere else because there's so much shit on the internet now, and kids are so just different that it's just like, I don't want someone teaching you the wrong shit.
Do they believe in Santa Claus?
No, they gave that up. Little man still does, though. Our 4-year-old is the last one. All the other kids are haters, except the twins, because they try to play it up because they're old enough to understand. But the middle kids are like, "There's no Santa Claus." I'm like, shut your ass up.
I remember when I first found out Santa wasn't real. It was the shittiest.
Heartbreaking. Or like that wrestling wasn't real.
Yeah, but I swear. I love
the WWE. I loved it back when it was a WWF, not the WWE. Like when that shit wasn't real, that shit hurt. I wanted to fight the person. I remember I was like 11. I was like, "What, bitch?" I was ready to stand on it for the WWF. Man.
Who was your favorite wrestler back then?
I like the Ultimate Warrior, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Obviously, Hulk is America's champ. But like the Junkyard Dog, the British Bulldogs, Macho Man. Like, I used to really fuck with wrestling. I had the little action figures. Like, I loved wrestling when I was little. So
it's still a fucking huge sport, right?
Huge.
Yeah. It was got bought out.
Yeah. And so the thing I don't get about wrestling is it's fake. So you're kind of just going there living in a fake reality.
You're just going to watch action.
Yeah, it's action.
Okay.
Entertainment,
it's crazy,
right?
too, because my twins, they're not as much into it now that they're older, but when they were into it, I used to take them to the WrestleManias and all the big events, and I'd be in there with people my age or older, like doing the chants when the people come out. I'm like, oh, you guys are sickos.
Oh, yeah, there's some people that
rap hard. They know all the chants and the moves when they come out. I'm like, okay. But like you said, to their credit, the shit is huge.
Yeah.
Wrestling
Yeah.
is huge.
Oh, it's so big. Yeah, you see Logan Paul's killing that now.
Dude, that's what I thought.
He's a beast. I fuck with him. I think he's gonna make a killing in
Paul?
Oh
WWE.
man, he already is.
He's super
fucking-
athletic, strong, charismatic. You know, him and his brother carved out this little niche in wrestling and
Hard-working
boxing, and they're getting
motherfuckers.
paid. I don't know them, but I respect the fuck out of them dudes. I don't always agree with what they say or do, and I don't have to. But I definitely respect the lane they've created. These motherfuckers are making
No shit.
money
They're
and having
killing it.
fun. Like, come on, man. These dudes are jumping in boxing the greatest boxer ever. Now the other one's jumping in the fucking WWE to be a international superstar. Like these dudes, I fuck with the movement they got, man.
That's what you should do. You should because you're like a tough guy and whatever. You should do the boxing. Why don't you do?
Nah, because I'm not really like. First of all, you'd have to pay me a lot of money.
That happens on the purses
if
there.
I happen to get knocked out, but it's just like I'm not some. I'm kind of past that stage. Like I had my last real fight 4 years ago, 5 years. I'm 43 now. I'm older. I think maybe if I was younger and like I got out of the NBA at an earlier age, like I got out of the NBA at 37, so I was already kind of oldish, you know. But I think if I was back in my 30s and 32 and NBA wasn't working and this was the time they were doing these celebrity, I definitely would have did it.
If you could fight somebody right now, though, who would it be? If you had to pick one, you had to do it. You're getting $1 billion. If there's one person you have to fight right now that makes sense. I see it in your eyes already.
No, I'm trying to think. Like I said, I don't really care about people that much, to be honest with you. I really want to fight them. Like I'm in the moment type. I just
Yeah.
Someone I would want to fight. Who? That's a good question.
No old rival. You can think on that back.
Before we finish the podcast, I'll give you a name. I'll think about it, but I don't.
Hey,
wanna
what was your record in the street fighting?
Oh,
growing
man.
up, you undefeated or what?
Nah. So I remember the one time I got stuck, but this was early on. So this was like 4th grade, and I got hit by a 6th grader, but he sucker punched me.
Oh.
But he got me good, like knotted me up for real. But I got him and got him good. So that was really but like I said, it wasn't like something like I'm walking around like I'm a tough guy. Like I faced a lot of racism when I was younger. When I moved from the Bay Area to Sacramento, it was nigger this, nigger that, and that shit used to break my heart because I'm biracial. I'm Italian and black. And my mom used to kind of console me. My dad was like, "Nah, fuck that. If they call you a nigga, you can fight them." So at 8 or 9 years old, that's like when I really started fighting. So it's not like I'm out here acting like I'm tough, trying to run up on anybody. Like I fought for respect and disrespect. You know what I mean? That's the way I was raised. And like I told you earlier, my dad was a no-nonsense motherfucker. So if my brother and sister got in a fight, I better be in that motherfucker too. You know what I mean? So I just always grew up fighting from that, like fighting for, I wouldn't say my life, but kind of fighting for, your life. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was never something I bragged about or went around being a tough guy. Like you see like when I'm not turned up, I'm chill as fuck. And I've been smoking weed since I was 14, so I've always been chill. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's not so much like a, look at me, because I never claimed to be a tough dude or a tough motherfucker. I'm not with the bullshit.
That's what I respect. Even like the whole thing with Derek Fisher. Yeah. You're like up front, exactly what happened.
Cool. And the crazy thing is like people want us to hate each other. Like I'm cool with Fish. You know what I mean? Him and my ex they're married now. They've been together for like 5 or 6 years. And the most important thing to me is the twins love him. You know what I mean? And that's all and I had after we got into our little mix up, we pulled each other to the side maybe a year later. And I'm just like, this is why I did what I did. And he explained his side. And then I'm like, on some real shit though, like I'm still in the NBA right now. So like, you're going to see my kids more than me. So you need to be that father figure, discipline,
tough situation.
Love, teach them how to, that's how I was. Like to me, all right, we're in this shit together. Like we're raising some kids together. So to me, it was never on no like, cause I fucked with Fish, you know what I mean? That was my teammate. We was cool, you know what I mean? So after I got over, the disrespect had passed, I root for Fish. You know what I mean? Like I want him to do well. Like I said, he's helping me raise my sons. So like I'm not, and everyone always wants us to still hate each other. Fuck this, fuck that. Like I made up with that dude the summer after.
Hey, did anybody from your guys' team like reach out after the situation? Like after you guys threw down? Like, hey Matt, like hey.
Kobe did.
Yeah.
Kobe did. I'm not gonna say what he said, but Kobe was the one dude, and we had a real good laugh about it too. Like, it was weird. Me and Kobe kind of went from we went from like competitors to teammates to brothers fast. Like fucked with, like when I first came to the Lakers, we went out a lot because he was going through some stuff in his personal life. I was going through some of my personal life. So he brought a condo at the top of the Ritz across the street from Staples Center. And we would never go above. We would go underground from the Staples Center all the way to the Ritz, like motherfucking Batman up into his thing. We would chill.
Shit, damn.
I would smoke, have a drink. We would change, and we would hit the streets. So I went like Kobe was like the first like cool Hollywood parties I went with Kobe. When I started meeting all these celebrity women, that's how I got into these celebrity women because of Kobe. The concerts, the access at the concerts, the court, like the CAA parties, the Oscar parties, like I did that shit with Kobe. And like that opened a whole new world for me. You know what I mean?
Where were you at? Where were you when you found out he passed?
I was in the Bay coaching my twins team. Shit was heartbreaking, man. That shit was different because, again, we went from nearly fighting, me faking the ball in his face, to like him recruiting me, blind calling me, hey, you want to be a Laker? Who the fuck is this? Let's go. Like, hell yeah. Like 4 days later, I was a Lakers. Like I said, our shit went to fast forward. So it was different with us. Like from the jump, my twins were like 3 or 4 when they first met Kobe, and he was Uncle Kobe. And when I tell you I had pictures of them from 4 years old to 2 weeks before he passed, sent them every single shoe he released. And at the end, he started sending their whole team shoes. He used to come watch them play. Like he was my dog, you know what I mean? And the fact that he had just, again, he remodeled one of his older shoes and sent the twins the shoes and their whole team literally 2 weeks before he passed. It was just like, damn, I just seen him maybe a week or 2 before, because we always, like, he was coaching his daughter out in OC and I coached my kids' team. So we'd see each other a lot. He would come watch our games. We'd go watch his games. But yeah, it was a gut punch when I found out what happened that day. And to hear, you know, it was foggy down here and they were trying to make a game and all the fog shit that happened, but it was surreal. Like it still doesn't seem real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I can't imagine.
superheroes aren't supposed to die. Like Kobe was a great basketball player to the rest of the world, but he was a superhero to LA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He meant everything to LA. And then, you know, for Nip to pass right before that, Nip was another, you know, obviously they don't love you till you die, but I think people understood the depths of Nip and what he was about and what he was about for LA and what he stood on. And the opportunity he was giving people. You know, we lost 2 heavy hitters within, you know, months. You know, it was a lot, but it just also shows you, man, like tomorrow's not promised.
Enjoy while you can here, right?
What sucks about Nip too, like you said, he was on his rise up, right? I feel like he was just getting to like
he would have been
mainstream.
great. Yeah, I mean, same thing with Kobe. You know, not that we can go back to Nip, but I remember our last interview with Kobe. Me and Jack were talking before the interview, and he's just like, you know, I don't want people to remember me for my last 20 years. I'm like, motherfucker, you're Kobe Bryant. You got 5 championships. And like, he didn't laugh. He's just like, no, like I want wait till these next 20 years. Like he was a monster. Like he took that that Mamba mentality into business. You know, this guy had won Oscars, Emmys, had a fund, all kinds of crazy investments. You saw what he got from the vitamin water when the vitamin water went public or was sold. Like he was a monster in business too, but he like looked me in my eyes. He's like, you know, I want to be known for this next 20. Like that's what kind of mind he was on. And Nip was on the same. Like Nip was just a different story, but the same grind. You know, out the mud, out the streets, and to lose, you know, both those guys, it was crazy because I met Nip when I first came to the Lakers, like 2010. My brother put me on him. And I sent him, and this is like Twitter to kind of just started going, I think. And I sent him a message, and they got back to me. He came to a Laker game, and from there, it wasn't like we always kicked it, but it was always love every time I seen him. Like I used to drive around the South Bay when he had his little, he used to have this like little white 2-door Mercedes, like almost like a baby mama Mercedes. I don't remember the number of it, but he used to push that motherfucker, and he would be all in moving, but hustling, grinding with his folks. And I would be up in these little spots, and, you know, people would see like, you're Matt Barnes from the Lakers, you're smoking weed with the 60s? Like, what the fuck is going on? But, like, I wasn't really on that. I was just on, like, bro was cool. And he, you know, hey, bro, we're going to be around. We're going to be out your way. Come fuck with us, you know? So it was just, me and Nip's shit was cool. Like I said, it wasn't all the time kick it, but it was love every time we saw each other. And when I tell you I seen him 2 weeks at the gas station right when you get off the 405, right my exit, and I pulled up, and it was crazy. So I pulled up, and he had a Phantom or a Rolls Royce. I don't really know those kind of cars. I'm not into that. But he had a big, long black car, And I pulled up, and I only see his leg out the car, and I see a skinny-ass leg with some white tube socks and some Chucks. I'm like, oh, this is a nigga out here in the valley. So I'm like, who is this? So I got out the car, and it was him.
Oh, damn.
And we said what's up, and I mean, it was dope. I told him how proud I was, because I hadn't seen him in a minute. Like, bro, I'm proud of, like, the grind. I've seen the growth, you know what I mean, from the beginning, like the first car I just told you about to the car I pulled up and seen him in.
Yeah.
Gave each other love, said what's up, how's the fam, how the kids, and it was, you know, it was a quick, maybe 2-minute interaction, and he was gone. You know what I mean? And then 2 weeks later, broke his pop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, life is crazy, man, and you never know how it's coming or when it's coming and when it's your time. So you just gotta, you know, you gotta live your life, man.
Was that moment when because the famous clip is the ball fake with that? Was that how did that whole thing transpire?
I wanted to fight Kobe. I told him too. Kobe was amazing, obviously, physically, to me, top 2 greatest players of all time. But he's also dirty. Like, he elbows you, grabs you, does all kinds of shit.
Is he jabbing you a little too?
Oh, yeah. He elbowed me in my sternum and knocked the wind out of me. Grabbed me one time. In that game, I caught a dunk tip. I literally someone posted it the other day, and they tagged me, and I put it on my story. But I caught a dunk tip on him because he went over and tried to block Dwight's shot, and he was guarding me. And I came in and crashed and got a nice dunk tip. And he was standing under the basket when I was coming off the rim, and this motherfucker elbowed me like from my nuts to my chest to my chin. And the ref standing there and doesn't even call nothing. Like, and I was like, man, fuck this. We're about to fight. Right. So when the ball fake happened, it wasn't like I planned it. It just my arms really did it all by themselves. Like, I wanted, and I told him, we laughed about it on our last. But I was like, bro, I want to fight you. Like, fuck this. I'm gonna have to fight this motherfucker. You know what I mean?
I heard
that's
that
what I was thinking.
You didn't realize how close it got.
No, I had no idea. If he was closer and it would have hit him in his nose, I would have been fine with that, because that probably would have started a fight. You know what I mean? But he wasn't backing down. Obvious for it to be that close and him not to flinch. Like, he was with the shit too. So I was cool. I'm with the shit too. Let's go.
Would he say subtle things to you to try and get in your head?
Cole wasn't a talker. To me, he wasn't. I've seen him talk to other guys, but it was just like, it was always mutual respect. Like, it wasn't like I hated the dude. So I met Cole. Cole came to LA in '96. I came to LA in '98 at UCLA. And, you know, when he was coming out of high school, so he didn't really kick it with his teammates. He was always on UCLA campus. So he would play pickup with us. We'd see him work out. He'd be on campus talking to people, eating. So, but it wasn't like, yo, he's my homie. I was just, damn, that's Kobe Bryant. But every time we'd play, it was respect. You know what I mean? And I just got a chance to guard him early on, and I was just like, oh, this motherfucker's cold. And it was just an admiration of him. And then when I was fortunate enough to make it to the NBA, it was just like, every time, like, man, I've been guarding this dude for a while. I'm excited. Like, I used to love to guard the best player. So it was just a back and forth mutual respect. But I would never say before the ball fake that Kobe and I were like cool or kicked it or anything. You know,
does that shit like elevate you, playing it, like guarding the best players?
I love it. You know, like I said, it was my job every night to guard the best players in the world, like the best. You know, and I played in an era that had a lot of the best wing scorers we've ever seen in the game: LeBron, KD, Melo, D Wade.
Who had your number?
I mean, I always say, you know, great offense is going to be good defense, but what I wanted to do is just make them work.
Right.
I wanted to make, if you're going to score 30 points, I want you to take 30 shots. I'm going to hard foul you a couple times. Shit is not going to be sweet. You're probably going to hit the ground. Yeah. If you want to fight, we can fight. Like, that was my football mentality guarding these guys. Right. But I mean, again, I guard the best players in the world, so they're going to get what they get, but it's not going to be like, oh, there's Matt Barnes, it's going to be an easy night. Like, they knew I had that respect from guys that, like, I'm going to have to work tonight. Like, this is not going to be.
Who went off on you the hardest? Like, who won one game just
I don't really remember, to be honest with you.
Nobody dropped like 50 on you?
No, I never had 50 put on me. No. But, you know, probably I've been a part of guarding Brandon Roy, but I wasn't his original matchup, and Brandon Roy was cold as fuck, but he gave Phoenix, when I played for Phoenix, he gave us like 54, and he gave me some of those buckets. But, I mean, that's just going to happen to me. I love that greatness. Like, when they hit a shot, I'm like, fuck. Next time I'm going to stop him. And he's thinking next time he's going to hit the shot. So it's just kind of that chess match within the game. But I think it's beautiful. I love it.
And how do you think the game has, how do you feel about the game changing as far as like the flops and everything like that goes?
I hate the flops. The flops are the worst shit ever. You should get, they should be able to review flops, and if they find out you're flopping, you should get kicked out the game and fined. Like, I just think flopping is fucking the game up.
Does LeBron flop a lot?
I mean, I think you have to flop in this game. I think it's almost like, I don't think people come in like, hey, I'm gonna learn how to flop. I just think like, damn, if I'm at a disadvantage if I don't flop.
Yeah.
And obviously never with that kind of shit. So it's just like, it's unfortunate, but I'm not someone who's just like, oh, I'm a defensive player, I wish they play more D. Like, the game has evolved. Like, the game is as big as it's ever been because there's so many motherfuckers that could put the ball in the basket. So people want to see Steph's 3-pointers and LeBron's dunks and Dame Lillard shooting from half court. Like, that excites people. You know, if you think about it, like, you don't want to see a 89, 91 Detroit Pistons back in bad boy type. That shit doesn't fly for media. Like, you want excitement, dunks, threes. Like the
back
game
in the 80s,
is grown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm not someone like.
You think that factors into when they're talking about greatest players, when there's going Magic or LeBron and Jordan?
Well, it's just easier to score now. You know, it's just the game. Like, you can't touch people. You know, they call so many fouls. Like, you used to have to get beat up before. Like, if you watch The Last Chance or know anything about the Pistons, like, they used to fuck people up when they came to the basket. Like, Shaq used to fuck people up when they. Now you get kicked out the game for that. You know what I mean? So it's just like, the game is different. I think it's still hard to score, but it's easier to score. You know, I was never someone who was a big time scorer. So people are like, how the fuck do you know you didn't? It wasn't necessarily my game, but I would say from just a historical standpoint, it was harder to score back in the, you know, it was a lot more physical back in the day, and you know, to have to score. But these scores today are incredible. These kids are so skilled that they I think all, you know, obviously LeBron was the first one to break the scoring record, but all kinds of offensive records are going to be beat with you know, the end of this generation with Steph and LeBron and KD, but this next generation coming too are gonna break because the game is gonna continue to elevate.
Let's just say, you think the talent now is better than it was like 20 years ago?
I think they're more skilled. I wouldn't say they're better. I think they're more skilled.
Right.
I think this generation is so accustomed to putting their head down and making all these moves and working out one-on-one with your trainer. Like, we used to back in the day, not necessarily work out basketball-wise. We used to just play all the time. So we would have a higher IQ. So we would know how to play off the ball. We know how to cut. We know how to screen. We know how to read a pick. Like, all these kids, like, if you watch the game, and this is something they have to learn, like, they have to like cut. It's not instinctual. You know what I mean? Like, they're used to, okay, it's your turn, Bob, go to work. Okay, now it's your turn. You go to work. Okay, let me get a couple. You know, it's kind of like, and the teams that are able to move the ball and have that kind of chemistry are the teams that have success. But the teams that do that kind of shit, it doesn't work. But I just feel like this generation is super skilled, but they kind of just lack some of this, just the basketball IQ of just how to play the game overall.
Yeah, the Golden State alone, right, changed the game, right? They just changed the whole game as far as
Ball movement, man.
Yeah, you don't really the big man, right? They kind of took the big man out of it, right? You don't really need the big man. And
I mean, this is more European, and this is why you see Europeans excelling in this game, because this is more of a European style. Like, when I came in the NBA, there were guys like Shaq where you can't just come down and shoot a three. Like, you have to throw the ball in the post first. And if they double team and it happens to get kicked back out, then you can shoot a three. Now motherfuckers in transition are shooting from half court. You know what I mean? Like, the game is just changed.
Where did you go in the draft?
I was a second-round pick that got cut and went to the D League or G League, whatever it's called, and had to grind my way to the league. And that shit was some bullshit. That was like staying in nasty hotels. If we flew in a plane, it was like the La Bamba plane. Like, I didn't even want to bus rides for hella hours. I'm like, nah, this ain't it right here. I'd rather sell weed than this.
What was your first big payday?
With the Clippers the following year. I got picked up on a 10-day with the LA Clippers in the 2003-2004 season. And that's when I first started getting money, like real money. I remember the first car I bought a car that took all the money out of my bank account. I bought like a 745. That's when they had first came out, a white one in a showroom that cost me, no, they ripped me out. The motherfucker cost me like 82 racks off the showroom floor. Like, I felt like I was doing it. And there probably wasn't more than 7,000 in my bank after that.
Damn.
I had that motherfucking car though, bro. You wasn't gonna tell me nothing. Like, I think I came from nothing, so that first money, that shit went before I even had it. And then I had to learn, the hard way. My first 3, 4, 5 years in the NBA, every summer I was broke. You know what I mean? And blessing, like, to me, the blessing, and then what really made me wake up was when I had kids. I'm like, oh shit, it's not about me no more. So, and I wasn't someone that was jewelry, hella cars, houses. I just, I enjoyed myself. You know what I mean? So it's just like that shit obviously came, went out a lot faster than it came in. And I think having kids kind of like slowed me down and like, made me start planning.
What about now? You're like you're not like a big car guy, like jewelry guy?
No, I got one car. I got two cars. I got an Escalade and I got a motherfucking O.J. Simpson '87 Bronco.
Fuck yeah.
Lifted, big tires, army green, speakers in that bitch. Like
fuck
it
yeah.
goes
Nice.
hard.
hooked
Yeah,
up.
I got the OJ and then I got an Escalade, and then my girl has an Escalade. Like I'm a dad of 6. Like
And then how like the nice shit once you have kids, bro? That shit
it's gone,
it's destroyed,
bro.
right?
It's gone.
Yeah.
I've always been like a Mercedes Escalade guy. That's why I said I didn't really know. I don't know if he had a Range Rover, a Rolls Royce or a Phantom. Like I was never into those. Those never really appealed to me. You know what I mean? Like keep it simple.
So what advice would you give to young guys that are coming in the league that are starting to make some money besides don't spend it?
Educate yourself. I think financial literacy is cool. It wasn't cool when I first came in the league. We didn't talk about 401ks and investments and starting a fund. We used to talk about women, rims, jewelry. I think this is early 2000s. Houses. I mean, women can you get, who you got, who you messing with. Like that was the locker room conversation. And by the time I finished with Golden State in 2017, it was, I got this investment you guys want to come in on and this and that. And it was just like, I love this.
Yeah.
Because, the stigma on athletes is, a lot of them go broke. And I think now that it's cool to understand, how your money is working and making it work for you and looking over your financial advisors. Like this is a regular conversation now. So what I would say to them is you're going to get a lot of money, and only invest what you're comfortable with losing. I think, and that goes for anybody. Like you only invest the money that you're okay. If I invest 10,000, 5,000, 100,000, $500,000, $1 million, I got to be okay with losing it because a lot of shit doesn't work. Plain and simple, and you have to learn through trial and error, and you have to vet these investments and vet the fuck out of these people.
Because I was going to say the trust factor is always there too. So how do you figure out who to trust? Everybody
vet these people, and it's crazy too because there's no real way you can turn because there's snakes, but then you hire family and family steals from you too.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like who do you really run to? And then you're making so much money and playing that you don't really have time to watch over every dollar. It's a cold game, not just to athletes, but anyone who really gets money because it's scary. Like it changes people. And protect yourself, protect your asset. The one thing I'll say is remember why you're at where you're at. Remember why you're in the NFL, NBA, and in whatever you are. Because there's so many distractions now. Don't let the outside noise distract you. Have fun, live your life, enjoy the journey, but remember why you are as famous as you are, why everyone is screaming your name, and why you have all these endorsements. And keep that pure to your heart. Don't cheat the game.
You think it's smarter to have, as a young guy coming into money into the league, you think it's smarter to have one solid girl by your side instead of just going around?
No, have fun. I wouldn't wait till you're getting older. Wait till you get in your 30s.
But don't you think the risk goes up a little bit there?
No, have fun because you're most likely going to cheat anyway, which is unfortunate.
Hey, that's what my next question was going to be, Matt. Do you think that it's
I'm going to use
it's
the bathroom
possible
right now
to be
for a second during this conversation.
young,
All good.
rich, famous, and faithful?
Yeah.
You think it's
I don't know, and I can't speak to everyone.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to speak to everyone. It's just that, you think about an athlete, you have the average career is 2 to 3 years. I was lucky to play 15. You have this small window of time where like you're on TV, people are screaming your name. I got money. Even ugly motherfuckers are, getting women. You know what I mean? So don't be halfway handsome. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot to handle. You know what I mean? Like I said, when Kobe used to start taking me around and I started messing with these A-listers, I'm just like, yo, it's a lot to handle. You know what I mean? It's her, and it's just like, damn, look at that. You know what I mean? So it's just like, that's why if you're a young athlete, I wouldn't lock no one down. Wear condoms. You see all the shit going on with Zion right now, which is crazy. Yeah. Don't take because life is coming at you so fast. And if you love someone, like they say, if it's meant to be, it'll come back around. You know what I mean? But if you find someone you really love, you got to let her go.
Especially nowadays, man, like you see some of the athletes, like the child support and stuff that they're having to pay.
I got hit over the head it's a cold game out here when you got young, black and successful. It's a dangerous game. It's a crazy game. So you just have to you got to play the game the right way. And like I said, I mean, although the ultimate goal is to be married and have kids and do all that, it's hard to do it when you're in your 20s with millions of dollars because, there's not too many women that are not accessible. You know what I mean? So just to say that, like, I found someone I love, and that's dope because you're going to find love at young. But now, are you going to cheat all the time? Are you going to keep yourself from doing that.
Or also, does that person really love you, right? Too, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, I think when you're younger, you do find someone that really cares about you. You know what I mean? But I think the older you get, it's just like it's a cold game out here, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree. I agree.
Hey, I got a question. Go back to Kobe real quick. Where do you have him on your all-time list?
Kobe's number 2 behind Michael Jordan.
Why do you think Kobe? Like you never really see any of these other athletes in the top.
No. The thing is, when you talk to athletes, they'll tell you Kobe is at the worst. I've heard top 5. But if you talk to athletes and people that play with Kobe, some people argue Kobe could be 1, could be 2.
Yeah.
It's crazy how and this is with all because I love LeBron James. Like he somehow it somehow went from the LeBron MJ conversation instead of the LeBron Kobe and then LeBron MJ type thing. You know, and people who played with them and played against them. Kobe was a killer, man. Yeah. And like I said, when you hear Shaq and you hear these other guys talk, Kobe's always in that conversation. When you hear Stephen A. Smith and the other guys that have big personality, the big names that haven't played, you hear all kinds of disrespect.
Why do you think that is? On him, it's mainly just him.
They don't get it.
Yeah.
And they don't have to get it.
Yeah.
To me, I mean, I think, obviously I'm not an all-time great, but I think the most important guys for when they play is how'd your peers look at you? How'd they respect you? Fuck the world. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You know what I mean? So I say with all due respect, it's MJ, Kobe, and then LeBron.
Okay.
LeBron is great. Don't get me fucking wrong, but so are those other 2.
Do you think Kobe only deserved 1 MVP the whole time he played?
No, fuck no.
Right? Why did that? He only got 1.
Well, I think I'm gonna keep it 100 with you guys. Kobe was the superstar that you either liked or you hated him or you loved him. Yeah. And he had some stuff off the court happen, and you hear that he was this and he was that, and he was kind of egotistical. I didn't get to see none of that. I met Kobe later, and one of the coolest dudes I've ever met. But you hear, I mean, because Kobe grew up in front of our eyes. Yeah. You know what I mean? So everything was on Front Street, and you would hear these things, and he wouldn't let too many people in, so you didn't know. So Kobe was the one guy that I think everyone respected, but it was a love-hate relationship. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was just when he passed, obviously you want to respect the greatness and what he was about. And I thank God every day that he showed people who he was outside of being the Mamba. Yeah. Because most of the world didn't got to see that. I was fortunate enough to see. And I remember one time we were on the bus and I was like, yo, how come you don't show he talks shit, laughs, jokes. Like Kobe is one of the guys, you know what I mean? And I told him one time we were about to get on the plane, I think we were in Phoenix and we're on the bus. I was like, how come you don't show the world like this side, this Kobe? He's like, he thought for a second, he's like, nah, I can't show these motherfuckers that. You know what I mean? Like it's just, it wasn't, you know what I mean? Like he had to let you in for you to see it. Yeah. And when you saw it, it was like, yo, this motherfucker's cool as shit.
Yeah. Hey, did he really, when he was on the Lakers, Matt, was he really like calling a lot of shots from behind the scenes? Like, does he have that? Did he have that power? That type of power? Like,
I mean, I think they had I think all great organizations have conversations with their best players. If any organization just goes and gets players without talking to their best player, I can show you that's not an organization that's going to win. Like, if you're normally it's the top 2 or 3 players on the team, they're going to have some sort of conversation. But if you're the best player, they have to come to you every time. Yeah. Because that's your team. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I'm sure Kobe had say on shit,
Were you there in his last game? When he played his last game?
No, I was playing. I was actually playing against Steph Curry when he broke the 3-point record, and I think he hit the record-breaking 3 on me that night, which was fucked up.
That sucks.
I want to say it was the record-breaking or the one right after it. I'm not sure, so I'm sure someone will fact-check. But, yeah, Steph busted my eyeball with the record-breaking 3, and then that same night, I think L.A. was playing Utah. In L.A., and Kobe went for 60. But
that was in his final game?
Yeah.
Holy fucking shit! What way was right?
Yeah, that's it. They were going nuts.
It was incredible.
Do you drink? Do you drink a lot or no?
No, I'm a social drinker. I'll sit down and have some shots with you.
Yeah, you want to have a shot?
I'll take a shot. In college, I used to go hard. That's why I don't drink hard no more.
Right there,
like Nate Diaz.
Right there, yeah.
I love the Diaz brothers. I want to meet them too. So they're from Stockton, I think. And
you guys are all North.
209. They got that
NorCal
Stockton
boys.
slap. I fuck with Stockton.
Hey, we got a care package from you from Represent from his brand.
Man, I want to meet them dudes too.
All right.
So let's make that happen. I need them on the show too. But I've been.
I'll be your booking agent. I have a lot of extra
Bob,
time.
You know the world, Bob. But you might be too busy for me, bro.
No, I'm not at all. Actually, I'm in this fucking apartment for.
That's what's so crazy about him, man. Is like. The people he links up with you.
Oh man, I see him with everyone all over the world. I'm like, this motherfucker right here. I like that. I was literally like I was a fan. I was just like, yo, this dude is funny. He's Now he's in the fast lane. This motherfucker.
Hold on. I got somebody for you real quick.
Who was that?
Say hello to Dana.
Oh shit, Dana White. We're just talking about you, man. I said you're one of my favorite people, man. I need to meet you one day, man. I'm a big fan of what you do, bro. Big fan. I'm with Bob, so I'm doing a podcast with Bob right now. So of course I'm in.
Where are you?
I'm in LA.
In LA?
Yeah.
You think it's a smart choice to do a podcast with me? You think it's a smart choice to do a podcast with me?
Come on, man. This guy knows everybody.
Yeah. Well, now it'll do some views now that he's on it.
Shut your fucking mouth. He wants to get you on his Up the Smoke.
Now this thing will do 250,000 in an hour instead of 12 in an hour.
Listen, I'm shadow banned. I'm shadow banned. All right. Hey, he wants you on the fucking show on the smoke. All the smoke. He wants you on.
We need you on all the smoke.
Hey, Matt, let me know when you want to come to a fight. Come out to the fight.
I was just telling him how long I've been fucking with UFC. I'm definitely gonna do that, but I'll also be out there for. Are you gonna be out there for the fight? Oh, he froze. Are you gonna be out there for the Earl Spence fight?
We might have lost him. We'll get him back.
Put us in a group chat.
I got you right now. Done. Already done.
This guy introduced me to Dana White.
I
feel
got
good.
you all day. Right.
I've never really I've been blessed, man. I think I've been in these streets underneath us.
Yeah.
UCLA backs up to Hollywood. I've been in these streets since I was 17, 18.
Man,
so
that's crazy.
I've been blessed to meet a lot of amazing people. So, there's a handful of people.
I just
that
think you guys are good.
I would love to meet that person.
Yeah.
Dana's just the fucking man. Dana's just no
Dana's
bullshit.
about his business.
Yeah. He doesn't
Plain
give
and
two
simple,
fucks.
You know what I mean? It's just like nobody's perfect. Everybody's living and learning, but Dana's about his motherfucking business.
He called me a pussy. He called me a pussy in front of 70 million people.
Yeah, he did.
He called me a crybaby little fucking pussy when I was bitching on the internet in front of 70 million fucking people.
And now you guys are friends.
I deserved it. No, that was it. We were friends. I called him an hour later. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
I mean, you need the kind of friends that'll tell you when you're acting like.
Yeah, of course. No, and he's definitely, yeah.
Yep.
Hey, but to me, I respect people more like that are straight up with you and going to tell you exactly right.
I can't. I'm the type of person that would tell you if you have a booger in your nose or
Yeah,
if you have
same
something,
here.
because I just think you should.
Yeah.
Like if I fuck with you, I'm gonna tell you like, bro, get that booger real quick.
I'm not gonna
instead
do
of
it
you
like in
just
an
sitting
embarrassing
through all
way.
night and
Yeah.
just have it like, I'm gonna keep it you like, Bob,
Yeah.
get that out your nose.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'd rather
I
be
gave that up
me
7 years ago.
because no, I'm just saying in
I
general.
gave it up 7
I would rather do it because I care for you than like you walk around with it.
Yeah,
Like,
of
oh,
course.
yo, you got something.
Oh, if you don't fucking
you got
tell somebody,
something
you're a
in your
fucking
teeth.
psychopath.
Yep.
You got something, bro. Get that shit out of your teeth.
What do you think is the psychological? What do you think is the psychological reason that people? Yeah. Cheers. Cheers to Matt.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, there it is. I'm gonna sip it. What do you think the psychological reason is, though, that people don't tell people that they have something in their teeth?
Damn, that's like rubbing.
They're just uncomfortable to tell them.
Probably.
That's probably what it is.
It's
just a straight vodka shot.
Yeah, I don't do straight. I'll do
Yeah,
tequila.
I'll
I'll do
tequila, yeah.
whiskey.
Yeah.
I'll do bourbon.
Yeah.
I'll do all that shit.
Hey, you
but
like to
straight
sip on whiskey?
whiskey? I'm a whiskey guy.
Yeah, well-
if I do drink.
What type of whiskey you like?
I mean, I'm not fancy. You know, I've the Pappies and all that. Like I've tasted, shit that's dope. But I'm simple. Like I'm Jameson, Crown,
Yeah.
whiskey, bourbons. If Hennessy's around, I have to drink it. I'll do that. But I just if I drink, it's dark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I've been through my phase. Like I said, at UCLA, in the beginning of my career, I used to drink so much that that's why I stopped. It's like, this makes me feel like shit the next day. And I just started smoking more, and I was like, fuck that drinking.
The back to Dana real quick is with the fights that he does. The cool thing about him is when you're in his little family section, he fucking lets you do like I legit think you can. I don't know if I think you can smoke weed like during the fights. Ringside. No, dude, I see Steve will do it fucking blowing shit up there.
No, now it's in most sports now it's
everywhere.
legal.
He doesn't,
right? Yeah.
dude.
I
He
love
doesn't
it.
give two fucks, and you'll be sitting there, and if you're in his fucking crew, it's like to the left, like I don't fucking belong even close to there. It's like fucking Halle Berry, fucking Donald Trump, fucking, and then it's like his 5 like derelict fucking buddies from every fight that go from his
love it.
hometown. It's just such a family fucking friendly environment.
That would be a dope episode too to have, like you said, to have the Diaz brothers on there because there's some smokers too, bro.
Well, I'm lucky too with Steven Espinoza over at Showtime. He's the dude that runs the boxing.
Oh, yeah.
okay.
He's president of Showtime Sports, and I literally just came back from Croatia with him. Like he's been able to put us like all the fights were first 2 or 3 rows. Like
I don't know. Showtime and Dana, I don't know if they get along. I don't know.
it's okay. This is to me, it's friendship.
There it is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like I just like to know cool people. Like I said, I was a fan that I don't give a fuck what he can do for me. It's dope if I get to do that. But like I just respect the way Dana moves.
Bro, he is especially like what he did. Like again, back during COVID when every sport shut down.
absolutely.
he was just like, fuck you.
How can you be creative
Yeah.
and bring entertainment?
And I think that's really...
Not to cut you off.
Go,
That's when
you're
all
good.
the smoke took off. That's when we started doing like 3 shows a week because there was nothing going on. Like normally we give you 1 show a week. We started pumping shows out like a motherfucker. We were doing we started getting these cameras, and when I tell you, for everyone from ESPN to other people, like, what cameras do you use? All the smoke was always so clear. Like we started doing the in-house.
Yeah, I remember all those.
Jack lived in Atlanta and I lived in LA, so they would just run the shit from New York, from LA, and we would shoot these. Pumping out show after show after, and we were having dope ass guests too. Like Lil Wayne, our first time we had Lil Wayne was during COVID. Chris Paul, like we just had Jamie Foxx, like a bunch. We did a bunch of shit during COVID, and we're just pumping out episodes, and that's kind of where I feel like we kind of took off.
Did you get? Were you one of those guys that got paranoid, bought bags of rice, and raided the grocery store and all that shit?
No, I wasn't really. We
I was
stacked up on
freaking
toilet paper and
Toilet
water.
paper and water.
I got kids, so I can't have kids walking around the houses with shitty asses and water. So we didn't really go crazy with everything else. You know what I mean? Like we were concerned. We played it smart. I had to get I had to get vaccinated. My girl didn't get vaccinated until she wanted to travel with me to one of my shows. So, like, we played it smart. We got kids. Like I said, it's not about us no more. It's about them. You know,
that shit would play with your head though. Like I would go into the stores and you just see people grabbing shit, so it kind of like scares you at the same. You're like, oh shit, I better grab some of that also, man.
You can't panic, man. Like I said, we got to be. You know, when you panic, you're not ready. You know, if this is what it is, it's what it is. You know what I mean? So you got to be strategic with your shit. You know what I mean? So like I said, we packed up on shit. We like the essentials, and somehow, some way, I was gonna be able to find some food.
Why are fucking people still wearing masks? I don't get it. That's what I don't get. Is it like a?
Well, to me, to each his own.
No, I know that, but I just
one time I don't understand why people wear masks is when I see a motherfucker in the car by himself with the mask. Like, bro, what are you doing, bro? It's just you.
Or the guys who wear the super aggressive masks.
Are you that toxic? But anytime else, if you're in public, you gotta think. You know, I think Chinese people have been doing it for a long time. You know what I mean? And like Michael Jackson used to do it. Like we used to look at. He might have different reasons, but we used to look at them like, why are you wearing a mask? But like it became the norm. You know what I mean? So it's just like, if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. I just don't. When you're in a car by yourself, like take that motherfucker off.
I remember flying, and if your mask was a little bit below your nose, they would be on you. I remember a fucking lady once. No disrespect to women at all, ever. But this fucking bitch woke me up in my fucking.
The disclaimer before.
I love flight attendants. I actually fucked a flight attendant a week and a half ago.
Oh, really?
It was a pretty
nice.
On the plane, Mile High Club?
No, not on the plane. After it,
flight attendants are good though because they can fly free. Like I had a couple flight attendants I used to mess with, and they could just pop up. You wouldn't have to pay for those flights. Like,
right?
Hey, I just use my my pass and get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing. That's back in my player days, not these days.
I got her.
I love you, baby.
Hey, cut that, edit that. No,
I got her.
No, you ain't gotta cut that. That's some real shit.
I got her number on the plane, like just fucking around, and we started like kind of talking dirty during the flight.
Oh shit!
Pretty sick, yeah. And then we were like, I was like, yeah, you know, kick it after or whatever. But she was like, yeah. And then this motherfucker, we land and it's late. It's like 1 a.m, and we're stuck on the runway for 45 minutes. And so obviously now this just minimizes my risk of being able to probably hang out afterwards. The next thing you know, some guy stands up and fucking starts going ape shit, like having a panic attack, like let me off the plane. And so she texts me. She's like, hey, you're not going to believe it. I have to now write up a report. This takes an extra hour and a half, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I ended up driving all the way home. I was pulling in. And then she was like, all right, I just finished. And I turned all the way back around.
There you go.
30 minutes. And that was
Dedication.
Dedication, yeah.
whatever it takes.
I got a question for you, Bob. So when you went from...
Whoa. Really?
No, not crazy. When you went from kind of funny guy, who you are now, back before you were known, when you first started getting recognized and seeing your shit all over go viral, like what was that feeling like when people started, they would see your shit, but then they would start recognizing you in public? What was that like?
I love it still. I think anybody that says it, I mean, mine's like a perfect middle ground, you know? Like I know if I go out, if I go from point A to point B, more than likely somebody's going to know who I am probably, especially if they're the 18-year-old, 30-year-old, like high school or college kids, thanks to the Nelk boys. Yeah. You know, like I won't walk by like a high school group or a college group and not know that I have to probably make contact. It's cool. I mean, it means that I've fucking accomplished some pretty cool things and being recognized for my talents. I think it's the coolest thing in the world. I'll never ever get bothered by somebody coming up at dinner or fucking like, I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, anybody that tells you they didn't, they don't.
No, I think at the beginning you do. The only time, and I appreciate too. You got to think I'm 6 years removed, and the fact that people still come up and like would want to like.
Well, because you were successful after your NBA
hounded
career.
it sometimes, you know what I mean? So I think that's a blessing. Like, yo, I'm 6 years removed from the NBA. I wasn't a star. I was a role player, but you still want to come take my videos. So I think that shit is dope. I like that. But the only time I won't fuck with you is when I'm eating with my family. Yeah. But I also just appreciate times because I'm one of them dudes too. Like I go grocery shopping for my family.
Yeah.
Like so, I love it when I can just get through the aisles and get all the shit I need to get and get the fuck out of there. But sometimes I'll take, when I kid you not, 20 pictures.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's
and if you ever see my pictures, like, and people post me, if I have just regular face, I'm not mad. Like, I love and appreciate you guys, but like, you're probably like, you know, the 10th picture, you know what I mean? It's just like when I go to, and it's because obviously I look at it from a standpoint of, again, I know who I am and what I was and what I was about, but you know, when I coach my kids and I go to these AU tournaments, like I'm taking pictures
every second. Every second.
Probably 100 pictures in a day.
Anything sports related.
And anyone around me will tell you, and I'll take as long as I'm eating, I'll take every single picture. Yeah. And I just think like as athletes and as people who've done something, like we owe them that. You know what I mean? Like the fans are the reason why we are who we are and got the money we got and the opportunities we have, like because they support us and they love us. So I've seen this conversation kind of take on a life of its own, but I've seen some.
I like the conversation.
I've seen guys that are like fucked up to their fans or this and that. And, you know, obviously there's levels to it. If you're a LeBron and you're a Kobe and there's only so much you can do because you're going to really get mobbed. But if you're not one of those like superstars, like, bro, you should take every picture, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always,
not eating.
That's what I was looking at
not
too.
With your family. Like, bro, take every, like, why? To me, it's just as easy to say, it's easier to say yes than it is to say no. Like, if you say no, you're like, damn, like, what is this the only time they would get to see a professional athlete or this and that? So, when people around me, my family, my friends, the parents, that when I coach, they see like, man, you take every single picture. I was just like, I feel like I owe that to them.
You know what really fucks you up though is like when you go 20 minutes and you're like out in public and you don't get asked for pictures, you start to wonder if you're irrelevant or not.
No, I love it. I'm like, am I becoming irrelevant? It's hard for me. I'm 6'8", tatted up. You know what I mean? Like I would love to be able to float through.
I'm like a little fucking squirrel.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I would love to not have to do it. But again, it's a blessing that I'm 43 years old. You know what I mean? Like, and they still want to say, you know.
So how I mean, when you go into like a supermarket, and I'm sure after like the first person asks, then they're like starts to build up a line, right?
I'm always the one thing I was like, quick, all right, let's go. Yeah. That when you stand and people, then everyone starts seeing,
and then people don't
you know the worst thing is when somebody says this, hey, let me take it for you, because then it slows the process down,
and that means they're next.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean? Like, there's a whole. I try to do quick selfies.
That's it. You grab the phone. You grab the phone.
Here, I got it. Will someone take? No, here. Check this out.
Yeah.
There you go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to grab the phone. That's what you got to do.
Right? Like
but
people will start standing there just because they're taking pics.
Oh man.
Do they ever be like, hey, who are you after the pic?
Some people have like, so when the people like, because some people like say you know me, but they don't, and you push me to, and they'll say, who are you? I was just like, nice to meet you, and I'll just keep it moving. To me, I'm not offended. I'm not tripping because I know who I am. Like I said, I was a role player, so everyone's not supposed to know me. But if you want to take a picture and you know me, cool. If you don't know me, like I'm not. Why do you want to take a picture of me if you don't know me? You know?
For 2 years, I was growing. I wore my own name on my sweatshirt every day. I never took it off. I wore it at Bob Menery. Like a fucking loser.
Bro, you gotta
like a fucking loser.
But you gotta think that's, you know what I mean, opportunities are happening for you now because of that. Like however you gotta get on, as long as you could, you know, you got morals, principles, like you have boundaries, like fuck it, man. This game is a hustle. And if you can find a lane that's gonna make you money, man, fuck what people think. Like from OnlyFans to man, fucking hustle. Get this money.
I agree 100%. I always believed it was like giving is. I always try to give more. Like no matter what. Like even still today, like I wanna, you know, give. I usually building this up. Like I would go to like say hypothetically, I don't know why. Like Baker Mayfield, right? For instance, right? A lot of athletes follow me. I'm like, hey Baker, like I have these followers that I have. Like what can I do for you? Like can I just promote something for you? And I would just do whatever to just help them and not ask for anything. You know, and then hope it came back later.
Build a network.
Yeah, that's what I try to do.
Yeah, I think
still try to do.
Often people try to make it about the moment in the instant or how much you paying me instead of actually getting a chance to meet people and understanding the big picture. Sometimes you got to get the money, but sometimes it's just a networking opportunity to learn and grow, knowing that, like you said, hoping I get that opportunity. So you have to understand there's a way to hustle. And the people who are always looking for money, you're going to get money, but that'll burn out. But your networking, the way you make money is off who you know. Motherfucker, you just called Dana White and got him on the first ring. The fuck? Like, that's, to me, that's, I mean, business, you can't put a price on that. You know, he's going to get opportunities that no one else is, like the tight circles get.
Who else you want?
You got to hustle. We're going to talk about
I got you, buddy. I figure I got you. Listen, I got only this. I don't know how much longer this is going to run for, but we might as well use all our resources while we can. Let's just say that, all right?
Oh, we don't have to do nothing right now.
The contact list is getting smaller.
I'm gonna tell my girl when we go home, like, baby, eat this motherfucker called Dana.
Yeah, no, actually, by the way, did you see that you are now? I put you in a group text, and I wouldn't leave him there. I said linking you two. He said, "Pleasure to meet you, Matt. Get Bob some views!" Exclamation point. So
that's Dana White, man.
You're in.
Yeah,
and I think you're in too.
Appreciate that.
And hopefully, I know that.
And I hope that maybe that little weed I gave you was like a hey.
There you go.
This can be the beginning of a beautiful relationship.
This is. I mean, man, we've already had one. So
yeah.
I mean, I've had a lot of fun. I think that we've had a pretty good talk here today, boys.
Absolutely appreciate it, man. It's an honor,
thank you
brother.
for having me.
This has been a lot of fun.
It finally worked. Like, I'm just busy. Like,
when
I tell you I'm gone, and before we go, like I just feel like I'm one of the luckiest guys in the world. Like, first of all, I have 6 beautiful, healthy, amazing children. But again, like, I was a role player, but I'm able to move like I was an all-star. Like, I'm on ESPN. I'm on Showtime. I call games for my hometown Sacramento Kings. I call games for the Clippers. I work for the NBPA. They're flying me to Spain in 2 weeks to go interview the 20 young NBA. Like, I'm doing shit like, what the fuck? You're paying me to do this?
Yeah, life must be fucking nice, Matt.
No, what I'm just saying, like
the fuck?
I appreciate opportunities, meeting good people, talking, connecting. Like, to me, that's what life is about, man. Sit back, smoke weed, enjoy, less guns. Appreciate each other, love each other, show each other love, man, and live this life, because we only get one, and you never know how fast it's going to be. So,
and you have one of the greatest podcasts out there by far, and it
all
continues
the smoke,
to be.
man. Fuck with us.
All the smoke is.
We just dropped Lil Wayne, man. Check it out.
Every fucking episode is a fucking banger, and you are the godfather of podcasts.
Yeah, man, I appreciate. I mean, and if that's who I am, if that's who my people have voted me to be, like, I carry it as with a great honor, and I hope we continue to inspire and, man, bring you guys good shows. But we got some good shit coming, so check us out.
Good shit.
What's the weed brand?
7 Leaves. 7 Leaves.
Hey! No promote weed bands. I got something coming. No. You already got Dana White.
Dana White.